I have to hug her to loop. This means you must keep your upper arm and elbow stable and out as you create that arc. Imagine an obstacle here. Today, let's break down how to loop a backspin ball. I'll do 2 demonstrations. Watch carefully and tell me which one is correct. First one. Second one. Of those 2 strokes, in which one did the body lead the arm? That's right, it's the second one. So, what's the fundamental problem with the first stroke? When you loop, you absolutely must learn to generate power from your body. Why can't you generate that power? Because you're initiating the stroke with your arm, pulling your body along. For example, you start your forward swing with your arm first, and then your body rotates. It's like a small cart pulling a big truck, you can't generate any real force. To get the feeling, first focus on driving forward with your hip and core, letting that motion whip your arm through. It might feel disconnected initially. You want to feel your body throwing your arm at the ball. Once you have that foundation, work on synchronizing the timing of these 2 actions. The body must initiate, but the delay to the arm should be minimal. Instead of a slow 1, 2, think of it as a quick 1, 2 sequence. Once you initiate power from your body, visually it will appear as if your body and arm move as one unit. But mechanically, the force originates from the body's drive, which then transfers to and powers the upper arm. If you start the stroke with arm strength, you're just dragging your body, and you'll never feel truly powerful. Let me demonstrate. Your arm is naturally faster than your body, which is why visually, they can appear to move simultaneously. But the point of origin for your power must be the body, driving and whipping the arm through the shot. Don't let the arm lead the body, or you'll never feel a unified force. The timing is subtle, just a split second. Don't overthink it, just focus on initiating with your body, and your arm will instinctively follow. Second key point. Watch again and tell me which one is correct, first, second. The difference is subtle, but the second motion, which follows an outer arc, is correct. The first stroke looks like it's driving forward, but after the backswing, the forearm and elbow are just pushing straight ahead. Then the forearm snaps through. The second stroke, however, wraps around the ball, creating what we call an outer arc. The reason we need this outer arc is to counteract the spin and create a perfect trajectory over the net. The key here is your elbow. Watch the difference in my elbow position between the 2 strokes. The first. The second. This used to be Xiao Quail's exact problem. She would bring her arm up like this, without keeping her elbow out and stable through the loop. Let me imitate it. Her backswing is like this. Then she hits like this, but the follow-through looks correct. So if you don't notice the details, you'll wonder why her loops always go into the net. If you wrap around the ball, you can whip your arm and generate real power. Your loop should feel like you're giving a hug. You need to embrace the ball as you hit it. Don't just push at the ball. Let me use an analogy. I have to hug her to loop. This means you must keep your upper arm and elbow stable and out as you create that arc. Imagine an obstacle here. When we keep our upper arm and elbow stable and out, we create a perfect outer arc. The motion is, stay close to the body, create space with the elbow, then contract the arm. Xiao Quail's mistake was pushing forward with her elbow still tucked in. She was pushing in a straight line instead of creating an external arc. Is the first motion correct or the second one? Clearly, the second one is correct. That was the small motion. If I exaggerate it, you can see how I wrap around the ball to create friction along an outer arc. If you just push forward, that's just hitting. The ball will only go straight. This is why your loop against backspin has a poor trajectory. At the point of contact, your arm is pushing, not creating that crucial outer arc. So the key takeaway is, as an amateur player, your strokes can't be stiff and angular. What do I mean by angular? A motion like this. That's an angular stroke. Your stroke needs to be fluid and circular. You need to create that arc. Watch me. Create the arc. Wrap around the ball. Loop with a hugging motion. Use this embrace style of looping. Avoid pushing or lifting, those are all stiff, angular movements. You have to hug the ball and wrap around it as you loop. Third key point, are any of you playing with a lot of tension? This stroke is definitely tense. A tense body core is actually a good thing, it means you're compact. But two types of tension are unacceptable: a tight shoulder and a tight grip. Here's where Xiao Kui's problem lies. When you rotate, you're using your shoulder to generate force, like this. Her right shoulder is always higher than her left, even if she doesn't realize it. Now watch how I loop while staying relaxed. Take a look. Does this motion look tense? It immediately looks much better, more fluid and relaxed. The specific change I made was to focus on bringing my elbow tip down towards my hip on every backswing. See, you think you're getting low, but your elbow is still up by your ribs. For your backspin loop, try moving your elbow down to your hip level. Right to that bone. See how my shoulder naturally drops? Exactly. Your way of getting low is just squatting straight down, which doesn't lower your center of gravity for the stroke. Only your legs are low. You need to create a tumbler effect, shifting from left to right. As I shift down to my right, the key is the tip of my elbow. Aim your elbow tip towards the height of your hip, not touching it, just aiming for it. Do this on every ball, and your shoulder will stay down. That's it, elbow to hip. See? Now it's down. If you rotate with a level shoulder, your hand can only drop this low. If the ball has heavy backspin, can you get to the ideal contact point? No, you can't. That's why you must drop your shoulder. This allows your hand to get low enough, behind your thigh or even near your glutes. If you rotate flat like this, your hand stays at thigh level, it can't get any lower. Watch me loop these two balls with the same amount of effort. In the first one, it's just flat shoulder rotation. But in the second one, my shoulder is engaged and contributing to the power. If you rotate with a level shoulder, you can't create the necessary arc. It works for topspin where you can hit forward. But against backspin, if your technique is a bit stiff and you can't get enough brush, you need your body to help lift the ball. You have this big muscle in your shoulder, you have to use it. The moment your elbow finds your hip, your shoulder will drop into position. You can't loop like this. You'll instinctively level it out on the forward swing, and your shoulder will engage. This position engages your body's rotation. The goal isn't just to be relaxed, but to use the shoulder to help create the arc during the loop. A great loop isn't perfected by fixing one thing. It's the combination of many factors working together. In a match, you might have 6 technical components, and even if 2 fail, you can still make the shot. If you only have 2 components, you're in trouble when one fails. When your elbow drops, your trajectory becomes much more complete. Your shoulder is also clearly driving forward. So why do you still look a bit tense? Because even though your shoulder is down, you're tensing up on your backswing. You have this kind of tension. But my motion is relaxed on the backswing, then explosive at contact. You must not apply force prematurely on the backswing. As soon as the opponent's shot comes, follow the ball's rhythm with a relaxed backswing. Since this is a fixed point drill, you have plenty of time to relax your backswing before exploding into the ball. Look at the power that generates. But your current motion is tense from the start, 1-2, which makes the whole stroke look stiff. You must change this. Start by practicing the motion. Get into a low stance, relax the backswing, and then explode with force. Why do professional players emphasize relaxation? First, relaxing allows for better power generation. Second, you're going to be nervous in a match. If you're not used to being relaxed, that nervousness will make your movements even stiffer. But modern table tennis is all about two-wing looping, you have to spin the ball. When the ball comes to you, you can't just smash into it. You need to let the ball sink into the racket first, absorb it, and then drive it out with your stroke. That's the key to a good loop. That's why relaxation is critical. If you're not relaxed and your hand is tense, the feel of your paddle will be completely different from practice. At the moment of contact, you won't have time to create friction. The ball will just shoot off the racket because the dwell time is too short. And your first point of contact will be a flat hit, not a brush. Only when you're relaxed can you absorb the ball into your racket and then drive it out with your loop, instead of just blocking it back stiffly. Therefore, before any shot, serves, pushes, loops, forehand and backhand drives, all of them, your body must always remain compact, but your grip on the paddle during the backswing should only be at 30% of your maximum strength. Of course, zero tension is bad too, as your backswing will be too slow for fast balls. When I want to power loop, I might even use a 10% grip, just enough to keep my form from breaking. The true purpose of relaxation is to increase the quality of your shot and improve your consistency under pressure. Let me explain how to relax again. First is the shoulder we discussed, it needs to be down. If you lift something this way, your shoulder is tense. But if it's a heavy object pulling down, your shoulder feels much more relaxed. Second, how can we stay relaxed? Your backswing cannot be forceful. The moment you use force, your body tenses up. You don't have time to tense up, then relax, then hit the ball. So, during the backswing, we need to maintain a smooth, gentle state. The feeling should be a very graceful backswing, followed by an explosive loop. Right now, your entire motion is rushed. Remember, a graceful backswing, an explosive loop. The sequence is always, relax on the backswing, tense at impact. At the moment of contact, you want to create the biggest possible difference in speed. Only then will it be effective. Let me demonstrate, relax on the backswing, tense at impact. It's the same principle for serving. Relax the preparation, and be explosive at contact. That's how it works.